Tonight, vaccine challenges, the impact huge demand and limited supply is having on rural areas. And facing problems as failure rates increase for students in Duluth, a look at what's being done to put them on the path to success. And new details, we're learning more about the victim and the alleged shooter in Tuesday's shooting at a Minnesota hospital.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us tonight. With large demand and limited supply of the COVID-19 vaccine around the country, some of our regional healthcare facilities are seeing the impacts. That includes Memorial Medical Center in Ashland. CBS 3's Emma Quinn spoke with hospital officials about the challenges they're facing.
Memorial Medical Center here in Ashland started a weekly COVID-19 vaccine clinic on January 27th. So far, they've vaccinated over 600 residents over the age of 65. But after the state didn't send their shipment this week, the clinic was postponed. The vaccine clinic, which is being held every Wednesday at the Ashland High School Athletic Field House, started as a county and hospital collaboration. Hospital officials say they get a confirmation of their vaccine shipment and how many doses will be included every Monday, and then they start scheduling patients. So luckily, no patients had to cancel any appointments, but officials say it's still disappointing not getting their shipment, and it will set them back significantly.
Oh, I mean, I think everybody would like to see things moving faster, but we understand that the supplies are limited. I've been telling patients, yes, it's so, feels like it takes forever, but we're getting there. We're getting those 65 and up patients vaccinated.
Because the supply and demand of vaccines is always changing, the clinic doesn't start scheduling appointments until they know how many vaccines are coming. The hospital is hopeful they will get their Moderna vaccine shipment for next week.
Ashland, Iron, and Bayfield counties are all involved in these clinics. A spokesperson with Ashland County says they are grateful to work with local community partners to provide them and will continue the efforts moving forward. Minnesota's highest court has overturned a key permit for a large Iron Range mine. The Fond du Lac band sued the MPCA in 2018. The agency had reissued Mintac's tailings basin wastewater permit. The band claimed the taconite mine had been polluting the water for decades. They said the MPCA had ignored federal standards for sulfate allowed in the water. The state Supreme Court then ruled in the band's favor. That means the permit is sent back to the MPCA for more review. Let's head on over to Dave for a quick look at the weather now. Dave, another wind chill advisory. I feel like that thing has just been glued to your screen all week.
Yeah, and then as of yesterday, the Weather Service decided to keep it glued in place until about Sunday noon. So that's how long the cold snap is going to last, at least by their accumulations and standards and guesswork. And mine backs it up as well, frankly. So to the short term, another wind chill advisory tonight. Actual air temps run in the range of 15 to 30 below again, with feels like numbers going 30 to 40 below. So you do have to bundle up if you're out and about overnight. And again, those overnight graveyard shift workers outdoors, we're rooting for you. Cold air in place another day. Tomorrow's excitement, though, is a little trough of lower pressure trying to work on up over the surface high pressure. It'll kick out a couple of flurries, but probably won't even add up to an inch. And then by Friday, it becomes sunny and cold once again. And tomorrow's still going to be cold, despite the partial sunshine that we get as the clouds try to thicken up with that trough of lower pressure. So Twin Ports numbers, for example, will start at 20 below, finish at 4 below. It may not be until Monday when we finally start to crack 0 over most of our region. We'll talk about the timeline, though, for a small warm-up coming up after a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. We're learning more about the woman who died during yesterday's shooting at a clinic in Buffalo. Friends have identified her as 37-year-old Lindsay Overbay. She was a medical assistant who worked at the Allina Health Clinic for a couple years. Overbay leaves behind 2 young kids and a husband. There is a GoFundMe to help them out. We do have a link on our website, CBS3Duluth.com. 4 others were also hurt. 3 of them are still in the hospital, with 1 in critical condition. The suspected gunman, 67-year-old Gregory Ulrich, is in jail. He's expected to be charged with murder and several other counts tomorrow. Authorities believe Ulrich targeted the clinic because he was unhappy with the health care he previously received there.
We're going to make it through this. It's going to be difficult. This doesn't happen in Buffalo, Minnesota, right? But we got to be there for these people that are needing us.
Ulrich threatened to carry out a mass shooting at the clinic in October of 2018, and a doctor told investigators that Ulrich had talked about, quote, shooting, blowing things up, and practicing different scenarios of how to get revenge. Tonight we're learning more about a countrywide issue the education sector is dealing with. School districts are reporting the number of students failing classes has risen substantially than in years past, saying the pandemic and shifting learning models are to blame. Among the schools experiencing challenges is the Duluth School District. CBS3's Leanne Valdez explains what they're going through and how they plan to fix it.
As a country, we're facing one of the largest challenges that has ever been faced educationally.
The COVID-19 pandemic has put a strain on the education system across the country. Duluth schools are no exception.
We have students who are struggling, students who are failing.
Denfield High School principal Tom Tuscan says they don't have specific numbers just yet, but failure rates are significantly higher this year.
Failure rates we've seen not just from year to year, but when you look at this year compared to the trends we've seen in the past, so it's substantially higher.
Tuscan says the school district is able to measure failure rates using new state guidelines developed during the pandemic.
This year we are addressing failure with students that are earning less than 60% in a class.
Tuscan adds the school district isn't giving out Fs as part of the state guidelines and is showing grace during a difficult time.
Kids that are not meeting that 60% threshold in Duluth are receiving no credits instead of an F.
Teachers then meet with students on an individual basis to explore options to bump up their grades. Superintendent of Duluth Public Schools John Magus says school officials are working hard to make sure every child is ready to transition to the next grade.
And thinking about how are we going to help our seniors and upperclassmen get to a point where they're graduating is really one of our next important steps. But we really are focused on making sure that we're helping all of our students.
School officials are also working on creating avenues for help.
There's a lot of conversation around summer school. We have quite a few innovative tutoring programs.
Superintendent Magus says parents can also do their part at home, starting with talking with their child about how they're doing in school. Thanks to these super cold temperatures, there's a new icy addition to Canal Park. Next to its traditional wood fire sauna in Canal Park, Cedar and Stone Nordic Sauna built an ice sauna. They say it's the first of its kind in the U.S. It features 8-foot-tall ice walls. Each ice block weighs about 200 pounds and was harvested from a local lake. Instead of being frustrated with the cold, the ice sauna's goal is to help people embrace it.
There is a level of beauty that you get to experience in the winter through cold and through stillness and through things like ice that you don't get to see any other time of year.
If you want to experience this for yourself, you can book a session starting on Monday. During a time of uncertainty, a former Duluth pastor is inspiring hope and unity across the nation, one step at a time. John Halverson and his wife Sandy are spreading their message from coast to coast through their initiative called Prayer Walk America. Each day, John, a former pastor with the Great Lakes Church in Duluth, walks 16 miles to pray for healing and a coming together for the country. They started in Los Angeles, traveling all the way to New York. Now they just started their last leg, walking from Miami to Seattle, which they hope to complete by November. Halverson says the country needs a spiritual awakening during the pandemic.
This time, we're praying, the inspiration is that we're praying for an awakening to sweep America, because I really believe that that's what we really need, and I call it a spiritual awakening. I'm not talking political now at all. I'm just talking about a God awakening.
This walk will be John's fourth across America. You can follow his progress on the Facebook page, Prayer Walk America. The Northland's first Ronald McDonald House officially opened its doors today. This morning, staff hosted a virtual grand opening showing off the new space and what it has to offer. The 5-bedroom facility in downtown Duluth will house families who need to be close to their sick children and who are patients at Twin Ports Health Centers. It allows families to rest and feel some comfort during a tough time, all free of cost. During the virtual event, spokespeople touted what amazing opportunities the house will bring to the community.
Pulling the resources, the support, the caring, the loving that comes with the Ronald McDonald House is incredibly important to any community that cares for children.
The facility was made possible through partnerships with Ronald McDonald House Charities, Upper Midwest, and the Essentia Health Foundation. For more information on the house and how you can donate, head to our website, CBS3Duluth.com. The deck is sending a very sweet thank you to local first responders during the pandemic. Today, the deck donated 25 3-gallon tubs of ice cream to the Duluth Fire Department. It's part of their Share the Love initiative. The ice cream was shared among all of the fire department's stations. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, below zero temps are taking its toll on everything from people to cars and more. But how do you keep your animals safe? Find out next.
The Duluth temperature record for today is 32 below. It's from 1885. Some towns farther away from the lake, even closer to the lake, frankly, beat that by a couple of degrees. The cold snap's still here. It'll be cold again tomorrow. We'll talk about how low we'll go coming up after our break.
Live, local, CBS 3 News at 6 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS 3.
Join us weeknights. We're live at 5 as we go around the Northland, city by city.
At Super One Foods, you'll find more than just low prices and better choices. You'll find friendly faces like ours, working hard to save you money.
Super One has a tireless commitment to quality and freshness and a goal of delivering 5-star service to every customer to bring the absolute best value to your shopping experience. Check out these specials available at all Super One locations going on now.
So stop into the Super One Foods right in your neighborhood. Super One Foods, serving you with low prices and better choices.
Attention Zantac users. The FDA requested manufacturers to pull Zantac and products containing ranitidine off the market, noting exposure to unacceptable levels of a cancer-causing agent. If you or a loved one was diagnosed with cancer after regular use of Zantac or ranitidine products, you might be entitled to financial compensation. If you have any of these cancers, time is critical. Call now for a free consultation. If you don't win, you pay nothing.
Call 800-617-7458.
Epilepsy can affect anyone with a brain.
It does not discriminate.
If you have a brain,
you can get epilepsy.
But here's something that's just as important to know.
Anyone with a brain can affect epilepsy.
So let's use our brains to do just that.
Let's change the way people think about epilepsy.
To find cures.
Because if all of us can get epilepsy,
all of us can end epilepsy.
We just need to use our brains.
Let's use our brains. Let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains to end epilepsy.
Everything that happens on a day-to-day basis in terms of news, no matter what happens in news, weather is always constant, weather is always changing as well. So it's still an important role as the meteorologist to kind of still stay grounded and to kind of just know that role and what to take and kind of just make sure you're delivering what's the most important for your viewers. But then also I like to touch base on the national things. All of those news stories also tie in with weather stories because they do go kind of hand in hand.
Watch Jenna and Caitlin in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m.
Clarice.
Are you famous?
Sort of.
2 dead women floated down the Anacostia River. Somebody sliced them to ribbons.
And you think it's
a serial killer? Yes, I do.
You saved a girl once. FBI! Your best is in the field. You know that.
I thought you had a little more fight in you.
Sir, you have no idea.
Local news and local weather here on CBS 3.
Now, the CBS 3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
So we mentioned just a few minutes ago that the record low temp for Duluth is about 32 below. Well, this morning, some towns beat that. Ely 33 below, Silver Bay 36 below, and Hibbing awfully close at 31 degrees below zero. Even into Wisconsin, 20 below, and Hayward is pretty brisk, and Watersby got the same treatment. And we'll all get similar treatment again tonight into tomorrow. We are looking for low temps to run a range of 15 below by the lake to 30 below inland. And there's a wind chill advisory on top of that as the winds become northwesterly and run about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Current temp at the airport in Duluth already down to 5 below again. 47% is the relative humidity, and 30.47 inches of mercury is our barometric pressure on the high side, thanks to the high pressure of the Arctic air mass that's conquered our region and will not relinquish control until perhaps Monday. And even that's not going to be a fantastic increase in temps. But we'll talk about it in a bit. Right now, Waters meets at 7 below. 5 below Ironwood, 2 below for Ashland, 2 above in Hayward, though still. There's the hot spot. 2 below Superior, 8 degrees below 0 in Cloquet, 4 below towards Moose Lake, and single digits below 0 for several of our North Shore towns, getting towards the double digits below 0 for the Iron Ranges and Border Country. So, yeah, again, 15 below by the lake tomorrow morning, 30 below inland. Colder for Minnesota by a hair. And even that's holding true right now by eyeing up the wind chill factor that's happening. 24 below is what it feels like in International Falls. 20 below in Hermantown. And, well, the wind's fairly calm in Hayward at the moment. The actual air temp is 2 above. Feels like 2 above, but that'll probably change as the night goes on for every town here in our region. Doppler map in our area shows a clearer sky from Arctic high pressure, but the winds are becoming northwesterly, and that could help create overnight here tonight a little bit of lake effect snow from the Bayfield Peninsula through the Upper Peninsula. Not a great chance and probably won't add up to much, but on top of that tomorrow we throw in a trough of lower pressure working up over the shadow of our high, and that could help induce a little bit of light snow for everybody. 20% chance for flurries. That might add up to about 1/2 of an inch here on Thursday. And then by Friday, the Arctic high pressure flexes its muscles again. The sky clears up to mostly sunny, and it stays cold through the weekend. But Monday's the day we hope to poke our noses up and above 0, at least a little bit, tonight. Tonight in Minnesota, your low temps are 15 to 30 below. And it feels like 40 below with the wind chill factor. 15 to 20 below for Wisconsin and Michigan. And then for tomorrow, 20% flurry chance for Wisconsin and the UP with highs from 3 below to 1 above. And in Minnesota, highs from 7 below to maybe 0. 20% flurry chance. Doesn't last long, doesn't add up to much, and goes away by Friday. Then stays cold through Sunday, but Monday is the day of audacity that we go to 5 above. Then 10 above on Tuesday, Tony.
Okay.
15 above next Wednesday with an overnight low of only 5 below. Child's play.
Yeah.
Finally, we'll bend the back of the cold snap by Monday and then hopefully break it by Wednesday.
I can't wait to not have every single layer of warm clothing in my house on me when I go outside. I feel like the Michelin Man, just, you know, as I go outside. Yeah. Thanks, Dave. When things get this cold, it can be dangerous to be outside. Most experts recommend only going out if it's absolutely necessary and to limit skin exposure. But what do farmers do for their calves and livestock who can't simply just come inside? Eric Richards spoke with a Wisconsin farmer to see how they keep their livestock safe.
Below 0 forecasts are usual here in Wisconsin, and in some cases can cause damage to cars, plants, and even our bodies. But what effects do these temps have on farm animals?
As long as you can keep your cows healthy year-round, so that makes it easier for the extreme cold.
Tasha and her husband Ryan have been farming for years and have a pretty good handle on how to keep their animals safe during the winter.
On your baby calves, we have to be a little bit more careful, so later on, as you can see, we'll have them in calf jackets.
One rule of thumb when being on a dairy farm, be prepared for anything, especially when it's cold outside.
So something I kind of enjoy about farming, there's no 2 days that are really the same. Yes, you have some tasks that are the same day to day, but there's always something different that comes up.
In reality, this is more than a farm, it's a family.
I think a lot of people think it's treat it like a large business and that's all it's run as. There's a lot of family aspects to it. It's not just a business.
We actually have waters for our older calves. Our younger calves, we have buckets, and we just change their buckets.
Just a quick reminder, if you have brutal cold temperatures and a wind chill between 10 and 20 below 0, exposed skin can show signs of frostbite within 30 minutes. Still ahead in sports, looking ahead to UMD's road series against Western Michigan. Kelly's in with the preview next.
For coverage that matters most to you, tune to CBS3. When severe weather hits, tune to CBS3 for up-to-date coverage morning and night. CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Whatever your water worry, Culligan Water can help. With over 40 filtration systems, including the world's best softener, no one filters more than Culligan water. The only water that comes with a van. Contact Culligan, the local water experts.
This Valentine's Day, Numi Jewelers is featuring 3 ways to a woman's heart. A real rose trimmed in pure 24-karat gold that lasts forever. An 18-inch freshwater pearl necklace and a box of chocolates, all for $99. True love is guaranteed at Numi Jewelers.
Working outside in the cold? Northwest Outlet is your winter headquarters for warm clothing in sizes up to 4X from Carhartt and Area, including FR Clothing. Northwest Outlet carries insulated coats, jackets and bibs, fleece and flannel lined jeans. Get warm pullovers and hoodies and high-vis clothing, along with a huge selection of long underwear. Northwest Outlet says keep your feet warm and comfortable with brand names like Rocky, Danner, Baffin, Georgia, Carhartt, and Keen. Plus, they have socks galore. Northwest Outlet, it's the only place to shop for your winter outdoor clothing. Superior.
This year's been just a huge year. We've had everything going on with the pandemic. It's hard to not have your heart go out to those people, the millions that have been impacted by that. That's why we do what we do, to try and keep people in the know. What's going on with this? When is it going to end? When's the vaccine going to be here? How is this impacting you? Where are resources to help you get through the pandemic and keep you and your family safe through all of this?
For coverage that matters most to you, tune to Live Local CBS3.
When most people have ended their day,
ours is just starting. Good morning, I'm Jenna Wells.
When news and weather happen overnight, we're there.
As stories break in your neighborhood,
you can count on us to bring you the details.
For scores and more, we've got you covered. Hi, I'm Kelly Hinson.
Why? Because the news that matters to you matters to us.
Plus, this is our home, too.
We're live.
We're local.
We're CBS3.
I grew up without a father. My son is my life, and I just want him to be proud of me.
12 seasoned professionals will go head-to-head in a test of strength. That is not a sight you see every day. Endurance. You got to get 100 lobster traps on that boat. And mental toughness. You got to punch it! We want to find out who is the toughest of them all.
Tough as Nails new season tonight at 8/7 Central on CBS.
Get local vaccine information all at CBS3Duluth.com. Now, CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
For the second time post-NCHC pod, UMD hockey will face Western Michigan. This time, it's the first time in Kalamazoo. The last time the Dogs faced Western was 3 weekends ago on the team's home ice. UMD outscored 9-1 on the weekend in the series sweep. It was also the start of the UMD's current inactive 6-game winning streak. That doesn't mean it'll be an easy task, though.
They're a good team. I mean, they're a good team. And going into their building, any team says this, it's a great place to play when they have their students. It's a fun place. And I just think the pace of the games in that building and the atmosphere lends itself to a lot of fun hockey. I mean, it's hard hockey, but it's fun. And I expect the same thing this weekend, going in there. And obviously we did beat them twice here. So I'm sure they're waiting to get their claws on us too. This is going to be a tough challenge for us going in there.
The men's hockey team is still on this weekend. They look to extend their 6-game winning streak on the road as they head to Kalamazoo to take on Western. The Broncos were swept here just 2 weekends ago. Both games will be on the My9 Sports Network. Puck drop is Friday at 5 and Saturday at 3. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, high school athletic teams all across the country are traveling less to play schools and are instead playing teams closer to home, which meant for the first time since 1999, Hermantown and Duluth East met on the ice. CBS3's Ryan Campo has the recap from last night's thriller.
Two of the most successful boys hockey programs in recent years met on the ice Tuesday night for the first time since 1999. Hermantown has dominated 7A, while Duluth East has been dominant in Section 7 AA. A matchup 22 years in the making, the Greyhounds and the Hawks from the Heritage Center. How about this for a quick start? Just 19 seconds in. Aaron Pionk there to clean up the rebound, and just like that, it's 1-0 Hermantown. About a minute later, check out this play from Ethan Lund, squeaking it past the goaltender to double the Hawks' lead. To the second we go. Hermantown now up 3-0 and shorthanded. No problem there. Aiden Dowd goes short side to extend Hermantown's lead. The Hawks win it Tuesday night 5-1.
Hot starts have kind of been our thing, so we really were able to get out and jump right on them. First shift, Fish got one, bam, and a minute or two later we got that second one, and now we can relax a little bit and just play our game.
We haven't played East in about 20-some years, so obviously it's a big game for us. We knew we had to play big. Another big game on Thursday against Rapids in the conference. Got to win it.
While the Hawks came out victorious Tuesday night against the Greyhounds, these two teams are scheduled to meet once again February 9th over in Hermantown.
Well, a few Iron Range legends are getting recognized by a Minnesota publication. The Star Tribune has inducted both Kevin McHale and Bob McDonald into the 2020 Sports Hall of Fame. McDonald passed away earlier this past year at the age of 87. As the longtime head coach of the Hibbing Blue Jackets boys basketball team, McDonald led the team to over 1,000 wins over his 59 years as head coach. McHale is the greatest basketball player in state history. He won 3 NBA titles, was named to 7 All-Star teams, is an NBA Hall of Famer, and named one of the league's 50 greatest players. I really wish Kristen was here. We could talk all about the Iron Range, but we'll just have to do that later. That's going to do it for sports for now. One more here coming up tonight at 10. Tony, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Kelly. Well, tonight on the CBS3 News at 10, yesterday, 30 ice anglers were saved on Lake Superior after a large chunk of ice broke away. In light of this major rescue, some folks are wondering how to tell if the ice they are on is safe. Tonight, Duluth Fire Chief Sean Creuset explains why it is important for all ice anglers to follow safety guidelines. Well, before we go, Tom Brady threw 3 touchdowns during the Super Bowl on Sunday, but his pass on Wednesday, well, this one might have been just a little bit more impressive. Check this out. Brady tossed the Lombardi Trophy, of all things, across the Hillsborough River to teammates on another boat. This was at the team's celebratory boat parade after winning their 2nd Super Bowl in franchise history. The Buccaneers were taking part in the team's celebratory boat parade. Dave, I don't even know if I'd chuck you a beer across the river, let alone the Lombardi Trophy.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it either.
Ooh, scary, yeah. Too cold to be out on a river today, huh?
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be pretty chilly once again. Wind chill advisory on top of actual air temps overnight going towards the 20-30 below range once again. Then tomorrow afternoon with a high of 4 below, we'll still have enough oomph out there in the atmosphere to give us a 20% chance for light snow showers, which followed by a mostly sunny sky returning by Friday. Frankly, the cold will stay with us through Sunday, but we might break the cold snap a bit Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Stay warm out there. Have a great night. We'll see you at 10.